Welcome to the Crypto Campfire. If you don't find them handsome, you should at least find them handy. Mitch and the Perfesser. Featuring special guest, Blake Chamness.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Crypto Campfire podcast. This is the Perfesser.
And Mitch.
And today we're going to be talking with Blake Chamness from Dash Farms. But before we start talking to Blake, let's grab that crypto news from the Crypto Gent.
Thanks, Perfesser. Hello, Crypto Campfire listeners, and welcome to the cryptocurrency news in a flash with Crypto Gent. Circle sells OTC desk to Kraken to focus on stablecoin. Stanford funds blockchain startup touted as the Microsoft for blockchain. And ISIS turns to blockchain-based messaging app following Telegram ban. That's the cryptocurrency news in a flash with the Crypto Gent. It's back to you, Perfesser.
Thanks a lot, Crypto Gent. Well, are you recovered from Los Angeles yet, Mitch?
Are you kidding me? I just got back last night.
Yeah, you got back way later than I did. I was back on, Wednesday, Thursday I flew back?
Yeah. You came back Wednesday morning and I came back Saturday morning, so...
Mm-hmm. Good times, man. That was sweet, though. That was sick. Shout out to Alon and Josef and everybody from Goren-Holm Ventures and eToro. And I mean, man, everybody who made that possible, that was amazing. Thank you, guys.
It was totally amazing. For our first venue like that, our first convention together, that was pretty awesome. I definitely must say it was an impact.
Oh yeah, lasting to say the least. And Vegas is right around the corner. Man, we're about to hook up with some of the friends from Crypto Twitter. There wasn't as many people as we thought we'd recognize at CIS and Vegas, right. Though the whole fam's going to be in Vegas. This is going to be sick.
Yeah, Vegas will be pretty amazing. And then there's a whole bunch of people from Crypto Twitter going to be there too. So,
and also I think considering when this episode is going to release, we should probably throw a shout out to our new sponsor, CoinFlip ATMs.
Yes, definitely.
CoinFlip. If you guys need a crypto ATM, if you need to buy crypto, if you need to sell crypto, jump on CoinFlip ATM's website. There's a map on there. You can figure out where the ATMs are located, find an ATM, and check it out. There's something cool about using a Bitcoin ATM. Plus, their fees are so much better than all the other ones out there. It's like, I don't know. I think it's a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer, and if you know somebody that might want to put one in somewhere, then just get with JMac.
Yeah, man. JMac's got the hookup. Love it. I love it. All right, so I want to start talking about this Dash Farms thing. I'm pretty stoked. So let's get Blake in here. Let's get the background on him, and then we'll start getting into that. So, Blake, welcome to the show. What's going on, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
We're looking forward to talking to you. You got a pretty cool project going on, and I must say my research department was also excited when she was going through your Twitter, seeing what you got going on with Dash Farms, and it kind of hits home and feels really cool. It's kind of the stuff I like to see happening in the crypto space. But before we go down that route, let's pull back the curtain and see how you got into crypto. So what brought you into this space and then what got you hooked after you found it?
So I got into crypto, basically, I moved from Texas to California when the housing market hit a bottom out there. And I spotted a bottom and thought, I'm going to go buy a home while prices are low. In Santa Barbara County, scraped up everything I had, bought a house, and it paid off. It's like the day I bought it, the market turned around, and the houses are still climbing today. But I sold after about 2 years. Made a nice little chunk of cash, and then was out in the Dominican Republic celebrating, and asked one of my friends, hey, dude, give me something crazy. Give me something with like exponential potential here that I can throw some of this winnings into. And he texted back Bitcoin. And I wrote it down, researched it a little bit, but then did what most people do, just kind of it goes over your head and you blow it off. But a month passed and my friend sends another text back. I'm back in the States now and it's gone up to $200. So went from 50 to 200, quadrupled, and I'm interested at this point. I can't just brush it off now. Oh, yeah. And I buy in. We have about 2 weeks first of debate, that rabbit hole we all go down. And for every doubt I have about how this will roll out, he's got an answer. And not only that, but he's questioning, he's making me question the dollar bill. So from that point on, I got into mining. This was probably 2012, 2013. Just doing that in LA, in Santa Barbara. And I was living in a VW bus going up and down the coast, checking on my miners from team view, just feeling like this futuristic world all hitting me at once, because I'm originally not a very tech guy. And like before Bitcoin, my last big investment was going to be Blockbuster.
Nice.
Love that. So, and I watched that tank and I'm like, maybe I need to rethink my whole strategy here. But anyways, so I just got into the mining aspect, and I saw that really sealed the deal for me. I got it, and getting into this, I wanted to check every level of it and verify it so I could be all in. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's cool to see that you got in kind of on a mining front too, because that's sort of how I first touched crypto, was with a little bit of mining, just an old Butterfly Labs miner that netted me about $15 in Bitcoin, but it found me the space and I discovered this, and then I was hooked. So,
Oh, I was having a blast mining. I hooked up with an Iranian engineer at the USC campus in California, and I had gotten him into crypto, and he's like, dude, let's mine. Let's try this out, and I'll get everything set up. You got me into this. I owe you, and I'll get the operation going. If you want to throw in the funds, we'll match each other. So we just had a real smooth, fun experience. Like I say, you can imagine me being in the VW bus, checking on my miners, at coffee shops. It just felt great.
That's awesome, man. Are you still mining then?
No, I haven't mined as much as I liked it. I also, I don't know about you guys, but it can feel a little, if you have a touch of OCD, it can be one of those things that keeps you up at night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand that for sure with the mining, like just making sure that everything is still running and everything is good to go and all your temperatures are nice. And
absolutely.
I know when I was mining, I was just like, it's all I could think about. Just the same like when I was trading too, after I was done with the mining stint and I had, just a little bit running in the background, and I was focused on trading and stuff for a while in 2017 and early 2018. And it was the same way. Like you're up until 4 a.m. just waiting for that exit point on the trade.
Absolutely.
And man, it's stressful sometimes.
I'm
glad that I'm not spending my time doing that anymore. It's more enjoyable doing podcasts. I tell you that much.
I always say now, instead of checking the price, I'm checking my plants.
There you go.
Which plants?
I've got, yeah, right. I've got, honestly, I've got strawberry, basil, and such going.
I seen that today, and I was going to ask you about that because you do a lot for crypto adoption, and I wanted to get a little more in depth in that.
I've found I'm doing my best here, guys, at breaking down the psychological resistance. That's what I see is like, how do you go about getting the general public in a condensed, concise way? How do you skip the 2-week research and break down those walls and get them in? And honestly, I've found that plants are a really good way to break down those walls and getting it on a level of just relaxing the people. It's so technical. It's so overwhelming at first that I think a lot of what happens is people turn away from it because honestly, their ego's bruised, especially if you're talking to like quotations Wall Street guy and you bring up crypto. They're like, oh yeah, I get it. But they don't get it. They're pretending to get it, but to admit that they don't get it would bruise their ego too much. You know what I mean? So I just find that you got to go about it sideways. You got to kind of have a prop, almost plants.
100%, man.
That's unique for sure. I know what you're talking about. It's like, depending on the person that you're talking to, sometimes the conversation can be challenging as far as the questions coming back at you and some of the skepticism that they have being put back in a way that really makes you think.
Yes.
You know, sometimes it gets turned and you're like, let me get back to you on that one. That's a damn good question, you know. And it's tough because even I don't care how long you've been in the space, there's no way to really know everything about crypto. It's crazy.
Agreed.
And plus how much it changes on a daily basis.
Well, like you said, it's about breaking down that initial barrier of research that they have to do.
Yes.
And that psychological barrier that the media puts up for them or helps them create in their own mind by portraying Bitcoin in this negative light. And whether it's from an investment standpoint, oh, Bitcoin's crashing, or whether it's from a crime standpoint, like Bitcoin's only used by criminals and it's supporting drug trade and, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, and how about like Trump's tweet that's like, you know, it's just out of thin air, created out of thin air. I don't know if y'all saw Trump tweeting that.
Yeah. It's like the fuck, man. Like, come on.
Yeah,
It kind of sounds like the value of the dollar right now. It's just out of thin air, is it not?
Yeah, what do you know?
And you have to wonder, it's like, is Trump just that out of the loop, which he could be? But what's interesting is like he hired on or signed on Peter Thiel to be on his team. And he's actually opening up a big mining farm in Texas, West Texas.
Nice. Well, that's
so
cool.
It's kind of like this, you know, is he playing the 3D chess everyone's talking about, or what's the deal here? Because
I mean, I think that a lot of it is just, I mean, politics in general is like this, where a lot of times people say things that, like, even if they know about it or even like it, they'll say whatever they need to accomplish whatever they're trying to accomplish at that point in time.
Yeah.
But that said, I don't think it's out of the question that he's totally out of the loop on it. I mean, the majority of people in the world are out of the loop on it because even most people that know about crypto and even a lot that use it, if you sat there and asked them to explain why Bitcoin holds value, they couldn't do it because it's a difficult concept to understand. And it's really even more difficult to explain to somebody that doesn't have like a somewhat sophisticated understanding of mathematics, how this thing that just lives inside of computers can have a monetary value. And it's a hard concept. So like, you know, once we get past that point, because people don't care about how the dollar has its value, but they use it because they trust it and they know it.
Sure.
You know, if you ask somebody to figure out how a dollar is worth $1, they're going to come back with, well, it's backed by gold or something, which is no longer true. So, you know, it's about building that next layer to make it easy to use and easy to understand without thinking about the nuts and bolts.
The question I'm receiving most of the time is, so if it takes dollars or fiat to purchase crypto, at what point does crypto take over and fiat take the back street, so to speak? You know?
Until it's used as a primary unit of trade, it's still going to be utilized as an asset and not an actual currency in the sense that we're used to.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, until you can go use it everywhere without converting it, that's where it becomes different and where it feels different for people.
You know, and isn't it funny how we have this thing in our minds, or for a long time I did, that it's like mass adoption will happen this day or after this event, but it really is this gradual process that like I'm pretty much going to be set. I'm pretty much set now if I wanted to through gift cards and such. You know, I don't know if you guys have tapped into that, where I actually can get like 6% dash back on anything I buy at Lowe's or Walmart or
BitRefill and those companies.
So like I would honestly, what I would like to see is just more of the middle class mom and pop shops taken. I'm more excited to see a local coffee shop than like accepting than Walmart accepting now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels better. Like, I mean, that's kind of the freedoms that are offered by crypto are really those that need to be capitalized on by those mom and pop shops. So they're not screwed by those little fees that you get from every credit card company.
I agree. And I feel like with the Walmart, anytime I get the news of Walmart accepting or Overstock, which I love Overstock, but when I see the numbers later crunched, it's like, you know, not that many people came out. And the second thing would be, though, I think Overstock's good about this, but a lot of the companies just turn it straight back into US dollar. You know what I mean? It's a way to lure the crypto users in and which is cool, fine. I'm all about just awareness, but it'd be cool to lock it in and get people in on a philosophical level.
I think that'll happen, but I think more stability needs to come to the market in order for that to happen. You know, when vendors get to a point where receiving it and paying their employees with it, that's when it's really going to turn over.
Agree.
You know, and, you know, yes, the mom and pop shops are pretty much the focus of most of us that are out there, like JMac and myself and Red Cat Life and, you know, all the other people, Pauly P, all the other people in the adoption movement that actually go, Johnny Litecoin, that go to vendors and talk to vendors about taking crypto for payment. And, you know, I talked to a guy at a eyeglass store when I was in Hollywood this week. And I mean, I went in and we had probably a 40-minute conversation, and it was amazing, you know? And so I really got him thinking about, you know, about this whole thing. And, you know, I'm looking forward to him reaching back out to me. And it was really, really unique, that conversation. So, you know, when they start to understand that, yeah, you can take it as payment, and, you know, you can say, all right, well, if 20% of my net income is lost due to chargeback from Visa, then I could technically afford to leave 20% in the market.
Sure.
And let it do whatever it's going to do, because I'm normally out that much money anyways. But now I still have that money that's potentially making money. So why is that a bad thing, right? And when you start planting those ideas and those different thought processes, people start to wake up a little bit and say, man, this doesn't sound too bad, and really sparks their interest and want to get in more.
Exactly. And, you know, going back to, I want to touch on something that we talked about with Todd Lewis about a week and a half ago, and that was payment processing companies. And I think that's another big step that we need to accomplish to start seeing a big shift, because mass adoption of crypto is not going to look like everybody in the world pulling out their Bitcoin wallet and sending a transaction to that Bitcoin address. It's going to look like somebody swiping their card or somebody hitting the button on their PayPal app. You know, it's going to look exactly like it does now.
Yes.
And until payment processing companies that the retailers trust start offering crypto payments, there's really not going to be any of that real adoption from the payment standpoint. You know, as soon as all these payment companies have that built in, it doesn't matter to the retailer. They're using their payment company. They get the payment in dollars, no matter how their payment processing company accepts it. So, you know, there's a few options, but it's still small companies right now. And as soon as these big players start jumping in, then we're really going to start to see it being used. And it won't feel like crypto. You know, at the beginning it will, because it's still going to have that transition period where it's still crypto, right? It's still sending a payment to a wallet address. But eventually, as it becomes the norm, those things get abstracted out and it becomes simple and it becomes streamlined. So all in time.
Yeah. For the new person getting in too, it's like, I think one of the concepts that I'd like them to think on is how this is almost like a global social security fund. You know, I don't know if you ever guys watched some of the, I think his name's Tour de Meester videos where he talked about.
I heard his interview with Pomp one time. That was actually my first introduction to him, and he is a brilliant man.
Yeah, he's great at showing you, breaking down the numbers of like, if every hedge fund in the world puts 1% of their capital, here's the price. If this number gets hit, boom. So the way I look at it, if like 1% of the population were to put their money into crypto, spread it out amongst 200 coins, this would be such a solid social security, not just on the financial level, but as we both know, or all three of us know, this is a social security that also curbs the war appetite. I feel like that the banks seem to thrive on. You know what I mean? This whole perpetual war, whose dollar is going to reign. I feel like once people see that potential of a global social security, I think that's a real game changer to get them to see that it's not just finance, it's that we'd be secure. It'd be a social security, our lives aren't in danger, that we're not being set up to hate each other.
Absolutely. I mean, the concept of a global currency, be it Bitcoin or whatever, is a really, really huge equalizer. It's a global equalizer. You know, you suddenly don't have power over another country based on economy or, you know, you're still going to have some influence because, I mean, you're still going to have wealth differences, but you're not going to have countries whose entire currency is now worth zero because it's war torn or something else is going on.
Yeah. Sanctions, I think, are a great example of like where the middle class just gets completely screwed because of a few leaders. You know what I mean? It's if you can get people to see that, which it's really tough. Their gut instinct is to be like, well, how do we control the world? How do we police the world without sanctions? And it's like, well, what about the middle class and the lower class of that country who have no way to guide their leaders? They're completely at the mercy. You know, we got to see the compassion.
Well, right. You know, and the sad part is that it's the people within that country that are the ones that suffer. It's not the target so much. You know, the target is the local governments, right? That the United States or whoever's putting tariffs or sanctions on a country, it's because of their leadership. It's not because of the people, and the people are the ones that suffer for it, right? And sometimes there's no way out of a regime like that. There's no way out for them to better their lives, so to speak. And I would venture to say only 30% of a country would be really supportive of their government.
Absolutely.
I'm speculating, of course, but I mean, look at it like this. If I'm starving because my government wants to be greedy, then there's a problem. And that's the problem with the world. I don't know that it's as much, you know, I think the global economic value of cryptocurrencies is going to make a difference for those middle class people because, like you said, it won't affect them. But then, how do you still at that point? Not so much police. I don't like that word. How do you help guide the rest of the world in a belief system, right? Because I mean, that's really the agenda the United States pushes. Is not. It's their belief system. It's our belief system that we typically push politically.
Well, isn't it funny how like really what America was supposed to push was free market, you know?
Freedom,
free market. So it's like the sanctions on these countries, those are in a lot of ways the opposite. You know, it's shutting off free market and it's policing the world, and it's not the forefathers' intention to be this, police
global policeman.
Yeah, so we've gone way off from the original path of freedom, and hopefully that crypto can trickle in to sanctioned people, because when they get sanctioned, they're going to get desperate, and that's when they go get violent. That's when they turn to the darker side.
I don't know. I'd like to think that when the Berlin Wall came down, the statement that made and the significance that had, we need to see more change in the world outside of political venues and outside of financial institutions. I think the people of the world need to change, if that makes any sense, because we are the numbers outside of the governments. We have more numbers as people than the government does as government officials. So why is our voice not stronger?
Absolutely. I agree. And I think a lot of that lies in the fact that we have the numbers in people, they have the numbers in capital, which they manipulate.
That's just it.
And when you got that,
that's just it.
Yeah, you got the media, you got a monopoly in a lot of ways.
Right. But I think another thing is just getting people to realize that, guys, we got to stop being complacent. We got to stop being okay with being ruled and stop being okay with being suppressed or oppressed, however you want to word it. And we have to start standing up for ourselves again. I'm not an anti-government, man. I'm anti-control. And there's a difference. We need a governing body. That's why it was created, right?
Sure.
I think all government is needed to a degree, but they've lost sight of what they were created for. And we could really go down this rabbit hole a hell of a lot further. But I think we want to talk about seed cards a little bit and get into the Dash Farms project.
Yeah, let's touch on the Dash Farms first. Why don't you just explain what you're doing and how you got into it, and then we'll kind of go from there.
So Dash Farms, I got into Dash digital cash in 2015, right around when transaction fees were getting high in Bitcoin, and there was this, big block size debate going on. Gavin Anderson, all the developers, and it just seemed like they weren't coming to solutions. Dash quickly found a solution, raised the block size quickly, got transaction fees low, and I went all in with them. And for those of the listeners who don't know, Dash has a second tier system to it that Bitcoin doesn't have, where there's a governance and a treasury. So anyone can put in a proposal to advance Dash around the globe, come up with an idea, and broadcast it to the master nodes, and they vote on it. Master nodes are anyone who have 1,000 Dash staked. So I got into Dash, put in some proposals. My first just had to do with traveling. I made my VW bus branded with Dash all over it and started hitting up meetups across Texas and then California. Was loving that. Kind of fell into the checking the price every day mode that you were talking about earlier, the trader psychosis. And I started thinking, what other angle could I take? What else would be unique in this space? And I love having gardens. So I bought a piece of land on a road not too far from the farmer's market in the town I live in. And I decided, let me just start growing plants and selling them for crypto, and using that as sort of the vehicle to explain crypto, why it's important, and everything I love about it.
That's awesome, man. I just love seeing people incorporate crypto into things that they are already passionate about.
It's a win. It's a win. And you guys know that it's like, the joke is if you bring up Bitcoin at a party, everybody runs away, right? Like it's not the funnest topic to a lot of people. But if you can give it that little sideways angle of plants and such, it makes it fun. And with Dash, they've given me an opportunity to get funding, which makes it really cool because it can feel like a part-time job, and it's something that feels really good to be out here. I'm in Austin, Texas now. Just sponsored a disc golf tournament. And it just feels so good to be able to be hitting the general public with a little bit of a treasury backing me.
That's awesome, man. You got a little bit. I mean, you don't have to have a whole bunch of money. You just sometimes just a little bit can go a long ways, especially when you're creative with it like you are. You even offered some Dash as a reward for that disc golf tournament, right?
Yep. First place will get $75, second 50, third 25. And then anyone who comes up to me at the event has got $5 of Dash. They set up a wallet.
Now that is adoption in progress right there. I love seeing that because that's what we're all about. Like, like Ask Mitch, there's videos of him sitting there setting up Uber drivers and walking into places and setting people up with wallets and all that shit. And like, so that's cool. Setting up something where there's a lot of people involved who may or may not know anything about crypto, but you've got to set them up with the wallet and get them into it before they can accept their reward, man. I love that. I love what you're doing.
You do. Because, think about that. Just telling somebody about something is one thing, but when you actually give them something that they can look at and go, oh my God, it went up. He gave me $2 the other day and it's now $5. What the fudge?
Yep.
Or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? And just that, so that not only have you planted a thought in their head and maybe a desire to look back into something, but now you've given them something that they're going to see again and they're going to go, yeah, this dude gave me this. Look at this. This is cool. And, might even want to get into it, looking into it more if they wouldn't have normally.
And
exactly.
I like to also throw out that anytime somebody turns it down, like if they're like, "Oh no, I don't want your Dash," or I take the approach of, "Well, here's $5," and they'll usually turn that down too. And then I'm like, "Do you have a heartbeat?" and it'll make them laugh. It's like, "Are you alive, sir?" And it just goes to show that some people just don't want to engage, but offering that $5 of fiat cash proves a point that it's like, you're really not that excited about $5 because the US dollar has lost so much of its purchasing power since 1971, is really what it comes down to. Like, people will walk over dollars on the ground at this point. Like, if there's a dollar blowing in the wind, no one's chasing it down these days. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
It's like, it's funny how it's changed where, it's just inflationary. So I like to throw that in there, give a little side twist to them to make them think maybe later on of, I didn't take that $5.
Yeah. And, a year down the road and they see that Dash has gone up and they're like, oh man, it's that nice little reminder of, oh, maybe I should get back into crypto, because while the speculative side isn't all there is to crypto, it is a really good incentive to get into it, because so many people are motivated by money for obvious reasons. And a lot of it is because of what the dollar has gone through and what our economy looks like right now. A lot of people are sitting really bad just because, they're working their ass off. But what can you do when the economy is so trash, and it's not the worst it's ever been, but it's not pretty. So I don't know. It's just good. Get that thing in their mind and get them into the space. And then they can discover what their true passion is within crypto and what they really care about the most.
Absolutely. The whole design of the US dollar, it sounds conspiracy may be too harsh of a word. Maybe it should just be an opportunity that was sought, but it's designed to rob the middle class. It's just straight up, if you really look at it. And you can get Alan Greenspan or Ben Bernanke saying that before they signed up for the Federal Reserve. They're on record talking about this. And then, they magically change their whole economic viewpoint once they get offered positions. So that's what I'd like the general population to know, is that we can create a sound money for the middle class. We just got to get rid of this brainwashing.
Exactly. Well, that's, with crypto or Bitcoin, it makes it work the same no matter who you are,
Yeah.
Your money is the same no matter where you are, who you are, or what you're doing with it. And I love it. So I got to ask you, have you seen the seed card movement happening on Twitter?
I looked it up because I see you guys talking about it. And I was sort of getting the concept. I filled out some stuff. What exactly happens when someone finds the seed?
Okay, so that's the part that hasn't been built yet. That's in the works. So let's I could step back all the way, but that's almost too far and too much extraneous story. So let's just go right now. So right now, you can go to changeangel.io/plant-seed, and on there's a map. And on that map, you can plant a seed card. There's also a link to go print seed cards. And let's just get a quick definition out of the way here. A seed card is basically a business card that's got maybe a cryptocurrency logo or some crypto information on it with a QR code link to an educational resource on that particular crypto project, whatever it is the seed card's about. Gotcha. So you print these seed cards out and you go stick them in public somewhere, whether it's on a corkboard somewhere or you put it on a scooter, like one of those little scooters that you scan the QR code and rent, or stick it in the window of your favorite restaurant, or tip your waiter and give them a seed card with. It doesn't matter. Get them out there. You post a tweet with a picture of your seed. You go to the map, you link that tweet to the point on the map where you dropped the seed at. And so people can go on there and see where all these seeds have been planted. Then they can click on them and they can see the tweet with the picture of the seed out in the wild. And Change Angel right now is considering / maybe already working on building another part where people can go and report that they found a seed, or place a pin on the map where they found a seed, or something along those lines, so that we can start tracking if they're actually being picked up by people, how effective they're being. It's just kind of a fun way of getting the word out.
Yeah.
Everything is so digital with crypto. It was kind of an accident between Hodl Fuel and Red Cat Life and Clint Westwood and all that for how the seed cards came to exist. But it just turned into a perfect opportunity to get the word out in a sort of non-traditional fashion.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. I'll do it, man.
Sweet, man. I love it. I mean, it works kind of right in with your whole theme, right?
It does. Planting seeds. I've spent many of hours out in the fields thinking about how much
Yeah.
metaphor there is to what I'm doing of
Exactly.
planting seeds. And, you know, also too, it's like you don't just plant the seeds, then you have to water the plant and take care of it and bring it inside when it's cold. There's this whole
Fertilize
courtship,
it,
fertilize
as
it.
we
You
call
got
it.
to really court the people you're talking to in those first few weeks, I think, or it certainly helps. I'll say that.
Exactly. You know, when you drop one and leave it, you know, you planted the seed, but when you drop one and then you talk to somebody about it, and then you fertilize that seed and then you get to watch it grow. And that's the cool part.
Right. You can actually see it blossom right in
Just
front
their
of you
eyes, man.
just by your conversation. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that just takes it to a whole nother level of, adoption, really. I mean, when you not only plant a seed, that seed's going to tell the specifics about whatever it is it's about, right? It's going to be about Litecoin or Digibyte or Dash, for instance. So they're going to learn about that, but they're not going to really learn about what crypto is. So the conversation that follows is what really drives it home, that because then it allows engagement, right? It allows questions to come back and, all these questions, if they've heard of it before, okay, so what about this and what about that? And I mean, the best part is when you're on an airplane and you're sitting next to someone and you got 3 hours or better to talk to them about it, and so it can be pretty amazing, the depth of conversations had. And it was kind of like that eyeglass place that I went to drop off that one seed and ended up talking with the guy forever. It was really cool. So there's a lot to be said about it for sure. And, it's just a different means of doing it, right? Like you say, you could drop some seeds in the dirt and they're going to grow, but it's going to take, not all of them will. I mean, probably what would you say, about 40% might grow without you doing anything further to it. But the ones that you fertilize, water, and care for are the ones that are really going to take off, right?
Like we always say, the community is so important in the crypto space because if you just jump in and you start looking at numbers and you just start seeing statistics, most people are going to get scared away or they're going to be not interested or, they're just going to get lost. But those people have a different reaction to being a part of a community. And so as soon as you start talking to them, and they realize that you're not there to sell them something, you're just excited about something and you want them to be part of that community, it changes their opinion and they start to feel welcome and they start to feel excited and they feel like it's something. That's just all. It feels like it's something and not just a bunch of numbers. And I don't know, I think that's the best way to take it to the next level as far as bringing new people into the space. And once you get them into the community, it makes it so much more easy for them to find all the other stuff that exists within crypto. They're not just stuck at Google, like, what do I search next? And they don't even know what to search because they're so fresh into this. So they don't even know any of the terms. So you get them onto Twitter and then it just starts coming at them and they just start to see it. And then they find the things that interest them and then they run down those paths. And
I'm really interested right now in this, so with the disc golf crews that I've been teaming up with, I'm trying to kind of move away to a degree from the Twitter side and hit, I'm not going to say working class, but I don't know, middle class, 18 to 30-year-old dudes out on the Frisbee course, or even 18 to 50, really, where I want it to break into the people that are out and about, that are the guys that will speak up at bars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are not on Twitter, that there's a whole different class of people that are on Twitter. And like you're saying, those guys that have, they've got their entire social world outside of the internet.
And don't get me wrong, I really value Twitter lately. I'm seeing I'm a part of this podcast now because of Twitter. I would not have found you guys, or y'all wouldn't have found me. I think that what I want to see happen to take adoption to that next level is, so many times in life, the smartest, most secure people are quiet and they're reserved. And I think that's the case with crypto, that you've got a lot of introverts involved in this movement. And if we can tap into a little bit of that extrovert crowd, and I've found the disc golf crowd to be like perfect guys. I mean, to me, I have never seen such uh, adoption so easily. For whatever reason, it's our crowd, and I like it too because they're out there every week playing. They're social. They're the type guys, like, they say for president, the factor of how much you'd like to sit down and drink a beer with that guy is a big reason of why someone gets voted president. That's like a big poll. And that's kind of like with crypto. I want to find people that are promoting it, that are the type of guys or girls that you'd want to sit down and have a beer with. You know what I mean? I've walked out of so many meetups where
Sounds like our podcast.
Exactly. I've seen so many people, guys, walk out of meetups because it got too technical, too quick. This was during the bull run.
Oh, yeah.
That last bull run, I was just amazed. We were packing out bars. I'd see, 75 people showing up to meetups. And some of them were smashes, ran great. But some of them got into algorithms, mining, da-da-da-da-da. And it just, scared people off. So, I don't know. My point to all this is that to boost adoption,
keep it chill.
Keep it chill. Keep it chill. Yes. Simple.
Simple is always better. When you start getting technical about anything, people lose it.
Yes.
If it's not their thing.
And let's face it, we're at that 98%. It's not their thing, or 95, let's say. Because I am impressed with how much it's grown over the last, I don't know, that last bull run. I mean, it brought a lot of new faces in. So I just want to, I'm trying to find influential people that can cross it over.
And I think once people start seeing that, when people feel your passion, and this guy even said that to me the other day in Hollywood when I was talking to him, he's like, if it wasn't for your passion that I feel from you, this conversation probably wouldn't have continued, but he's like, you intrigued me because you're so excited about this. And if somebody's that truly excited about something, there's got to be something there. He said, and it just sparked a world of interest in me. So, that's what I mean about the energy. It's infectious. It's captivating. It's exciting. And I think that's what really brings people into stuff, right? It's not just, oh, yeah, this is kind of, oh, these guys are back and forth at each other. They're being dicks. Yeah, I don't know if I want a part of that. I mean, they want to see positivity and excitement. And I think that's what our big push here is. At least that's what I feel the Campfire stands for.
Absolutely. Feel the same way.
It's exciting, isn't it? I mean, the reaction you can get from somebody feeding off of your energy is just like, that's fun.
And you know what? It's not, what people have to understand is it's not just a payment system that we're excited about. It's not, it's a philosophical thing.
It's a movement. It's a movement. Freedom movement, right? It's a unity of people. And that's the best part is.
One of the beautiful things, I brought this up, is that I would say, despite what some polls I've read have said, that crypto is mainly kind of a libertarian thing. I think it'd be really cool to tap into some of the more youthful, dare I say, socialist movements, only because there's a lot of numbers there. And also crypto is flexible enough to be many different things. You can be a socialist and enjoy crypto. Some you can find angles of it. And this is one thing I'm trying to also remember when having conversations, because you will find some pushback out there. Like I don't know how much you guys feel it, but they see the libertarians as cold-hearted or something. And the thing is that crypto has a lot of compassion behind it. It's a lot, you could even say, about wealth redistribution in some ways. You know what I mean? But it's voluntary. That's the big thing that, separates me from the socialist thing, is that this is a voluntary, peaceful monetary revolution.
Right.
So,
It is. It is very peaceful if you think about it.
I would just love to see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweet how much compassion is in crypto, or get some of these people that are so far. I mean, it's funny how, I don't know if you guys watch the Congress hearings, but there is I'll just say the left and the socialist side is not as embracive as it should be. I would say that there is a real opportunity to get the youth that are a little bit more left-leaning to see the beauty of what we're doing. That's, I could be naive in that, and that could be a lost cause, but I see a real opportunity there on college campuses.
Oh, for sure.
Because, here these kids are signing up for school, which and taking on debt, which is great if they're going to have a job when they get out that can pay that out. But if not, I'm seeing this. I work on a college campus in the cafeteria, and I see it as sort of an indoctrination ground that would be anti-crypto going on a lot of campuses.
Yeah.
And I think also, too, what I noticed, though, is the kids are waking up to the bullshit of that, and that they're going to need a plan B here soon.
Oh, yeah. The internet has done a really good job at allowing people to start being able to identify that bullshit faster. We now don't have to rely on word of mouth or things to come to us slowly to determine that they're bullshit. Like, bullshit spreads in a minute now. And it's so cool that people can share that education and collaboratively work together and not just in that, but I mean in everything. We can now finally have a way of bringing all of our mental capacities together into one and act together. And so the more we build on that, the better it gets. And blockchain just helps take that to the next level. So it's been a really good podcast, man. Before we wrap up, we're going to get one more question out of the way here. And we're definitely going to have to do this again because we're far from done. There's a lot more stuff that we could talk about for sure.
Oh my God, right?
This is a good one. I'm having fun, and we barely even touched on some of the things. So, but last question. If you could make any sci-fi / futuristic modification to your body, what would it be and what would you use it for?
This is what I'm pleasure aspect. I don't want to live forever. Invisible. I don't want to hear people talking about me. So I don't know. I'm going to go with 2-hour orgasms.
Damn.
There you go. I was expecting rocket boosters or something like that. That's amazing. I love it.
I like that. I don't know if I can handle that, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm lowbrow, guys. I'm not out here to, rocket scientist, bottle, some big scientific achievement. It's going to be for Blake.
Right on, man.
You go.
Sometimes it's got to be about you, right? Sometimes you got to take that minute.
Got to give the little kid in you a cookie.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome, man. Well, this was a sweet podcast. I can't wait to get another one rounded up with you here probably in the next month or so.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on the show, Blake. It was a good time.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
Peace.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because we just talked with Vitsa Vind about doing the gardening stuff with the XRP drops and things like that. So I was kind of excited to talk to somebody who's already doing gardening and crypto stuff together. And I don't know. I love what he's doing.
It just flowed so nicely with the seed movement and everything.
Yeah,
perfect timing. We're doing it. It was it was awesome. Yes.
It's cool.
It was very, very, very cool. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that podcast. There is a ton more that I would have liked to have asked. But this hour went by so freaking quick.
Yes. I can't believe it. I thought it had been about 20 minutes and you're in the notes, it's almost an hour. Holy cow.
Yeah. Just crazy when you get lost in conversation. Exactly. And it's good, captivating conversation,
So kind of like this one, I'm going to ask you this question that I was thinking about asking later. So how much sawdust can you put into a Rice Krispie treat before people start to notice?
I'm betting probably 40%.
Right. You can almost like, I don't know. Do you get to mix them in to the Rice Krispies and then remake new Rice Krispies? And then, because if you just made Rice Krispies out of sawdust.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess then the next question is how many people actually thoroughly chew their food? Those would be the only ones that notice.
And how fine the sawdust is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I got some sawdust here that's almost like powder. You could mix it in with a glass of milk and think you were drinking sawdust milk.
Milkshake.
Right?
Milkshake. I think the way I eat Rice Krispie treats, when I make them, I put peanut butter in it. So, you melt the marshmallows and the butter, and then you put a big old spoonful of peanut butter in there. I don't know. I don't know if I would notice the sawdust. I would just go through them like a fat kid. Handful after hand, like Garfield and his lasagna. You'd never notice the sawdust.
I am such a peanut butter junkie. Oh my God.
It's a problem.
It's terrible. It really is.
I like peanut butter way too much. I used to work at a call center doing tech support quite a while ago. And the girl that sat across from me in the other cubicle had a jar of peanut butter in her desk at all times. And every once in a while, she'd get off the phone call and go into break mode, and she'd grab a big old spoonful of peanut butter and slurp it down. And
hell yeah. That's exactly what I do.
It's good for you.
It's funny. Instead of making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich like with the bread, I'll just take 2 spoons and a jar of peanut butter and a jar of jelly. Just take a spoonful of one, a spoonful of the other, and just mix it up and let it go down. It's like the best.
So what you're saying is that you could be more efficient and go back in time and go buy that like Smucker's peanut butter and jelly mixed together in a jar. That's terrible. No. It's horrible.
It has to be Jif peanut butter, and it has to be Smucker's grape jam. There's no substitution. That's what it has to be.
I'm very picky about my peanut butter. I love Jif. Is like that. Jif actually used to be my number one. Okay. And their crunchy peanut butter still is number one for me. But on creamy peanut butter, I actually like Skippy just slightly better than Jif.
Really?
Yeah, but I also don't like very much jelly on my sandwiches. So Jif is a little bit less sweet, which is why it's really good when you have like grape jam or something. So that makes perfect sense. That's what I used to use as a kid is grape jam and Jif peanut butter. Like that's it. But I like Skippy and a small amount of strawberry jam, Smucker's strawberry jam. And
that's definitely my weakness though, is Jif peanut butter. I am just,
exactly. And no matter what you got on it, you got to have an ice cold glass of milk, frozen glass, a little bit of the crunchies on the side.
I got a little bit of a chest cold when I was down in LA somehow. I'm sure it was all the people that we contacted with and all that stuff. But, so a glass of milk's I can't drink it right now, but I'm dying.
Oh, that's, I hate when you have a cold and you drink a thing of milk and then you just can't breathe through any of your holes.
Stop coughing. Right.
It's all broken.
Stop coughing.
Yeah. It's all screwed.
Yeah, it sucks. So you guys have a great day. We're going to get the hell out of here and go enjoy some Sunday. We'll talk to you all soon.
Take it easy.
Peace.